Yo, what's up guys, AOC Dino here and welcome to a new video. Today, I want to talk about a topic that has been circulating the community lately, and that is the potential banning of Gallade. Many people are worried that Gallade is too powerful, but I believe that there are some factors to consider before making such a decision. But yeah, anyway, right now the most common set on Gallade is going to be a Jolly Nature with a Life Orb. Adamant is sometimes used as well, but if you run Adamant, you're going to be much worse versus offensive teams. You're going to be a bit better against defensive teams, but I don't think it evens each other out, because even with a Jolly Nature, you're still going to do a lot of damage to defensive natures. But do you really want to risk the speed ties on stuff like Mamoswine, Dragonite? You want to be slower than Jolly Breloom, for example, and those kind of things to consider. And this is, I'm not making this stuff up, guys. We go into the statistics here. Something to note though, he has quite a high play rate and his win rate is higher. It's literally the highest in the top 10, really. So that's something to consider on how good he might be right now. But yeah, look at this. Almost 60% of the player base is using Jolly, Gallade, and PvP. And like I mentioned, the most used item is Life Orb. So the only people that are running the Choice Scarf are probably doing it on Adamant. And it's like I said, guys. With an Adamant nature, you're gonna be worse against offense teams. And if we're actually going to take a look back, like if we're running Adamant, we're gonna be speed tying with Dragonite, right? We might be slower than a bunch of Gliscors. Opposing Gallade is something we gotta be worried about as well. Jolly Breloom. We're still gonna be faster than me and Shadow if it's max Spadef. We're gonna be slower than Adamant Excadrill if it's Sand Rush, for example, under a Sand team. We're gonna be slower than Speed Nature Metagross. We're gonna speed tie with Mamoswine, or gonna be slower if the Mamoswine is Jolly. After Chandelure, tricked away his item, or if we run into Substitute Chandelure, we might be slower if they run Timid. Those kind of things. Max Speed Togekiss, we're gonna be slower than, which could be annoying if it's Timid Max HP, Max Speed, for example. We're gonna be slower than Kabutops. Outside of Rain, actually speed tying, but we're gonna be slower than Kingdra, for example. So yeah, against offensive teams, we're gonna be a bit worse. You can definitely run that Adamant nature, but I think Jolly is more efficient. But yeah, basically what I want to do is go over a bit of the forum post on this topic. So what I'll do is I'm gonna change the screen right now, and we're opening up this, and I'm gonna read this one. What is this? This thread is being open to discuss the ability Sharpness that is being added to Gallade, making him a powerhouse, destroying both defense and offense Pokemon. It's not Pokemons, it's Pokemon. Nah, I'm kidding, guys. Sharpness boosts the strength of slicing moves used by Pokemon with this ability by 50%. So for Gallade, the most notable ones are Sacred Sword, Psycho Cut, Night Slash, and Leaf Blade. Those are the most more notable ones. The other ones, we don't really care about. X-Scissor too much. We're not gonna care too much about Slash, Air Cutter, or whatever. Don't really care about that. But yeah, Poseidon Wrath, got a few cogs there. And looking at the cogs versus offense, it's very notable to me that there are almost no guaranteed I believe there are no guaranteed one-hit KOs against offensive mons. But it's definitely some high chances, though. It's definitely some high chances. But yeah, all these calculations are, I'm pretty sure they are done with an Adamant nature, looking at this. And yeah, if you use these calculations with an Adamant nature, obviously the numbers are going to be a bit higher. But we just confirmed that the majority of the player base is using a Jolly nature. So in that sense, I don't think this is too valid. But still, if we base this off Adamant, then imagine Jolly doing less damage. And if most of these things don't 1-hit KO, guaranteed, then you can, in a lot of cases, you can switch in these offensive mons. I actually did some calculations myself, so we can go over them in a bit. But yeah, there are also some cogs against defensive Pokemon, and I am not too interested in these cogs because I can put a Conkeldurr there, show you some different cogs, and get some crazy numbers as well. For me, what's important is, am I able to kill something in one go without setting up, or am I not? Because remember, Gallade, the most used item on Gallade is Life Orb, and Life Orb is the one that is difficult to switch into. If it's without a Life Orb, then sure, it can definitely pick up some 2-hit KOs, but for example, this Skarmory calculation, because I'm pretty sure this is Adamant. This is an Adamant calculation. If this is Jolly, then this 70 is non-existent, and there's basically no chance of getting 2-hit KO'd. This one with a Life Orb with an Adamant nature, so it has a really high chance to 2-hit KO. So yeah, with a Life Orb, it's gonna be extremely difficult. And I can definitely see the argument of, okay, you have a lot of these threats, right? And they have certain things that can safely come in on them. Like, for example, right, for Conkeldurr, we can use Weezing or Cofagrigus, which in a lot of cases we'll be able to switch in. We don't have something for Gallade that's generally good. Like, I guess Sableye, Spiritomb, whatever. Resisting both, immune to both stab, and then neutraling every other attack. So I guess you can make a case for that. But let's take a quick look at these cogs first. Not too interested. That's the Skarmory one, the Weezing one. Okay. Also remember, against Weezing, the ability is nullified, right? So Weezing doesn't die from full. So you cannot basically you cannot if your opponent has a Weezing in, you cannot bring in your Gallade just to kill him. You need to weaken the Weezing first, otherwise you're gonna get Will-O-Wisp. And that's something I want to touch later as well. But this one, the Pelipper cog. So this is also an Adamant cog, right? Doing this much without a Life Orb, and this at +2. Come on, bro. Why does it keep showing this? And then 8 special attack. No one is running 8 special attack because 8 is the same as 4 because it's level 50. So basically, an uninvested Hurricane is doing 75 to 89. However, most Pelippers are, most Gallades are Life Orb, right? So imagine if I have my Pelipper in versus a Gallade, and he's gonna click. I'm clicking the Hurricane. I don't need to click U-turn. I'm clicking the Hurricane because he doesn't kill me. And then I get the Hurricane damage off, then he's going to take a Life Orb, and then I can decide to switch, because if he decides to attack again, he is going to die, for example. And I don't think this cog is very realistic, because yeah, sure, you're going to do a lot of damage on the Pelipper. But if you play versus Rain, what other likely mons you're going to face? Kingdra, Seismitoad, Toxicroak, Kabutops, maybe Ludicolo, maybe Scizor, right? Those kind of Pokemon, like, when will you have an opportunity to attack with Gallade? If the Rain is up, you're never gonna attack Kingdra. By the way, if you're going off these cogs, if you're Adamant, you're gonna be slower than Kingdra even outside of the Rain. You're gonna be speed tying with an Adamant Kabutops outside of Rain. So you have to be Jolly in that case. But inside of Rain, you'll never be able to attack into them without taking a hit in return. Against Toxicroak, if you're Jolly and the Toxicroak is Adamant, then sure, you're outspeeding, you can Psycho Cup. He can always Sucker Punch you too if he wants to, right? So the only time is really when you face something like Ferrothorn on the Rain. But then you still need to get in your Gallade on the Ferrothorn, because you cannot just mindlessly switch it in and get lead cheated on, and then he clicks Protect, or switch into a Gyro Ball or Power Whip, because you're gonna take a lot of damage or even die. And that's one of the issues, because yeah, all these numbers, they are high with his damage. Yeah, switching into Gallade is gonna be difficult. But tell me guys, when is Gallade really going to be able to attack? Because going up these cogs, actually I did some cogs myself. Look at these cogs. These are the most notable defensive Pokemon in the game, right? Skarmory, Rodon, Gliscor, Mungus, Ferrothorn, Reuniclus, Togekiss, Cofagrigus, Weezing, Hippowdon. Obviously a bunch more. On none of these cogs, with this set, Jolly, Life Orb, right? None of these cogs have a guaranteed one-hit KO. Even the super effective ones. Like even the Ferrothorn with max defense, right? Doesn't guarantee die to Sacred Swords. It's a high chance, but it's not guaranteed. So to get a guaranteed kill off, you need something like Stealth Rock first. But that means you need to get damage off first. So there's always a chance it lives. However though, if Gallade doesn't kill in one hit, right? Because this is showcasing the super effective moves. But if you bring it in on a not super effective move, just a neutral move, then he might need to attack you 2 times, meaning 2 times Life Orb damage. Now looking at the offensive checks, right? Some notable ones for me: Dragonite, Garchomp, Gliscor, Gyarados, Salamence. Right now, I feel like Jolly Gliscor with speed is just one of the best Gliscor sets. I prefer it over the defensive sets. Also for one of these reasons, because if you can easily bring it in on Psycho Cut, it doesn't matter if he's Life Orb. If he has Ice Punch, you die. But however, what if the Gallade isn't running a Choice Scarf? This is the cog. Max HP Gliscor without defense EVs, guys. 92.3 max. So even after Stealth Rock, we still have a chance to live Ice Punch. So if we run into that Choice Scarf, Gallade, we can still bring in our Gliscor. And even if he clicks Ice Punch, we don't die. But if we get up rocks as spikes, they take damage, and we can get some value there. Basically, to give you an idea. But the idea with the Gliscor as well is you bring it in, and you can roost, because if they Psycho Cut again, you outspeed them, right? Or you can even Earthquake to attack them, like with your offensive checks. Because yeah, it's extremely difficult, right, to bring it in and then force it out with whatever you bring in with your defensive mods. And I guess that can be a case if people really want to go through with the ban. But if it's only about switching in, guys, there are some other examples too. For example, Mixed Infernape. He is extremely difficult to switch into because he has so much coverage. Like Overheat Close Combat covers a lot. Hidden Power Ice, your Gliscor Gardener are not safe. Thunder Punch, your Gyarados is not safe. You can even run Grass Knot, right, to hit shit like Gastrodon, Slowbro, those kind of mods. So if you make a misprediction against that kind of Infernape, you're also gonna get to it killed. Conkeldurr, for example. Conkeldurr can run Guts, can run Sheer Force with Life Orb. But yeah, Close Combat is gonna hit extremely hard, guys. You wanna use your Amoonguss. Oh, it's gonna take a bunch from Facade or Ice Punch. Oh, let me use my Jellicent. Oh no, he has Thunder Punch. Let me bring in my Golbat. Oh no, he's going for the Stone Edge. Okay, I'm gonna use my Hippowdon to check this. Oh no, he's gonna bulk up in my face. Oh no, he Close Combat. Oh no, he Drain Punch recovers everything back. Like, another example, Dragonite, Mixed Dragonite. You're gonna be expecting the Dragon Dance. Oh no, he clicks at Draco Meteor. Oh no, he clicks at Hurricane. Okay, I know he has Draco Meteor or Hurricane. Let me bring in my Porygon. Let me bring in my Blissey, Chansey. Oh no, he clicks Superpower. Like, it is difficult, guys. Breloom as well, guys. Close Combat hits extremely hard with Breloom. Lucario. Oh, let me switch in my Skarmory. Oh no, he Swords Dance on that turn, and he has Rocks up. It's over. I hear my Skarmory's gonna die. Those kind of things. There are a lot of examples in which it is difficult to switch into. And like I mentioned, guys, these Pokemon I mentioned, they have Pokemon that generally do well against them. But if I use my Slowbro to check a Dragonite, switch it into a Dragonite, and he clicks Draco Meteor with Specs or Dragon Gem or Life Orb, my Slowbro probably dies, right? And that's the case. However, all the Pokemon I just mentioned, what they have in common with Gallade is they have a lot of damage. They have really good coverage. Maybe the coverage on Gallade is a bit better though, due to Psycho Cut being very little drawback, aside from the dark immunity, of course. However, something that Gallade doesn't have and all these Pokemon do have are either a good speed tier or a good priority move. Gallade speed tier is not good, guys. It's okay. It outspeeds most walls, but not good. His priority move is Shadow Sneak, guys. Let me show you freaking Shadow Sneak, guys. So we have this Gallade, right? And let's calculate against the Starmie. Let's do it at 50%, right? At level 50. Shadow Sneak. Adamant Shadow Sneak with a Life Orb. 65 max, bro. With a Jolly Nature, guys. That's supposed to be a super effective attack. And we're talking about an offensive Starmie here, guys. Like, Shadow Sneak is not a good move. Sure, it picks off low HP targets, and that can be a reason for you to run. But it's not a good move. It's not gonna claim kills in a lot of cases. So, and because of this reason, he doesn't have good priority. He's slow. Gallade is the only fighting type Pokemon in the OU tier right now that is actually afraid of getting Pursuit Trap by Weavile. Because what is he gonna do for this Weavile? Let me put the Weavile here, right? Okay, let's assume Icicle Spear, right? Like, Night Slash does 84 to 99. After Rocks, you actually have a chance to knock him out. Icicle Spear, 3 hits. After Rocks, really high chance to knock him out. However, though, Pursuit does about half, more than half. But if Gallade decides to switch out, it's gonna be double. Damn, 75% chance to knock him out. But if Gallade is Life Orb and he just killed him on, you bring in Weavile, you pursue him, and he switches out, he's dead. Which other fighter Pokemon cares? Conkeldurr does it. You try to trap Conkeldurr, he's gonna Mach Punch your ass, right? You're gonna trap Weavile, you're gonna trap Infernape, it's gonna kill your ass. You're gonna trap Breloom, it's gonna Mach Punch your ass if he Sash. You're gonna trap Scizor, it's gonna Bullet Punch your ass. Like, all these examples, and Gallade is actually afraid of being Pursuit Trapped, which is insane. And like I said, guys, a lot of the offensive checks, if I have my Garchomp, like an offensive Garchomp, right? I'm bringing it in on a Sacred Sword. I'm gonna live, and then I'm gonna return with Earthquake, and then he has a chance to die as well because he just took Life Orb damage, right? And if he clicks Sacred Sword, he's gonna take the Rough Skin, so he's already in range. Those kind of examples. But yeah, like I said, guys, you can still play around the Gallade though, but Gallade is going to be a bit more difficult though, due to his coverage. However, Gallade can only run 4 attacks, and like I said, the issue with Gallade, I think I mentioned this before, but in a lot of cases, it doesn't one-hit KO, especially if it doesn't have Life Orb. But against stuff like Rotom Wash, he has no well, I guess Leaf Blade. If he has Leaf Blade, he can. I'm curious to know if Leaf Blade is actually knocking out Rotom. Leaf Blade is not something I really like on him, but I'm not sure. Even Leaf Blade, it's only a 12.5% chance to knock out a Rotom with max HP, max defense. But if you don't have Leaf Blade, which in a lot of cases would be the case, because you run Leaf Blade, that's the thing as well. Gallade cannot run 5 or 6 moves. It can run 4 moves. And if Swords Dance is included in those moves, or Agility is included, then he can only run 3 moves. And 2 of those moves are always going to be Sacred Sword, and Psycho Cut. So I'd have 1 or 2 coverage moves. And if it's Leaf Blade, cool. Like let's say it's Leaf Blade Ice Punch. Okay, cool. I'm gonna sit there with my Cofagrigus, right? Cofagrigus, and the Psycho Cut is not gonna do the 2-hit KO, especially if you're in leftovers or something. And then yeah, you have to risk a burn, or if he can go for the free Pain Split on you. Like he cannot have 5 or 6 moves. So basically the same argument as Conkeldurr. Like let's say I want to counter Conkeldurr with my Weezing. Facade is still doing a lot of damage. I want to do it with Cofagrigus. Oh, he's bulk up Stone Edge. Oh no, he crits me after the bulk up. Those kind of things, guys. Like if the sole reason is that it's really difficult to switch into, then I don't think it's a valid reason to base the ban on this. But I do actually see what people have to say. The calculations speak for itself. My boy Art of Killing. Yeah, like I said, I can literally put Conkeldurr there and I can get similar calculations there. Nothing to discuss. Obviously should be banned. Sharpness not Gallade. This is actually a pretty decent moveset, because it might not need Swords Dance, right? It might not need the setup move. Just having full coverage can be cool. If the I don't really care too much about it. You can read them all yourselves. Like a lot of people have different opinions, and they're gonna use statements to enforce what they believe in. I'm literally doing the same. But I am saying that, yeah, unlike there's with the current Gallade, there isn't a Pokemon that you can reliably put on every team that is going to check, or it's going to switch in and force out Gallade most of the times. But yeah, like I said, if it lacks Ice Punch, Gliscor is gonna be your man. If it lacks Leaf Blade or Night Slash, for example, right? Slowbro might be your man. Cofagrigus might be your man. And the thing is, with Cofagrigus as well, if he clicks Night Slash on you, he's gonna take the Mummy ability, so he loses sharpness as well, which can be interesting. But yeah, once again, guys, you can easily trap that guy with the Weavile, even Scizor, because it's gonna be the mind game. Are you going to Bullet Punch when he stays in, or are you going to click Pursuit on his switch and let him die? Those kind of things. And yeah, one extra thing I kind of want to touch, because yeah, I use Rain as an example, but yeah, in a lot of cases, things need to be weakened. You need to set specific conditions for Gallade to come in. It needs to come in on something it can kill. If it cannot kill that mon is going to stay in on you. So it needs to be able to stay in. And if I have a Gliscor with Jolly Nature and I don't need it that game, and he brings in Gallade with Ice Punch, I am staying in and clicking Earthquake. Because we already know if he's Choice Scarf, we're not gonna die to the Ice Punch. And otherwise he's gonna take an Earthquake, and if he decides to attack me with Ice Punch and he's Life Orb, he's gonna take Life Orb Recoil too, and then he doesn't have long to live. And remember, with his Life Orb, he is going to be on a timer, guys. So if you have stuff like Sandstorm, if you get up Spikes or Stealth Rock in the game, it's gonna reduce his longevity too. And yeah, I would actually be kinda I would be kind of annoyed if the ban actually goes through. Just because we have freaking arena trap in the game, guys. PokeMMO is literally the only game, the only Pokemon MMO, the only meta that allowed arena trap. And yeah, people are using, they keep using arguments like, yeah, but you can just use you can just use hazards, you can stealth rock, you can spikes on a duck trail to remove a sash, you can use priority moves, you can use something with a choice scarf, and all the arguments comes down to, yeah, you can easily kill duck trail. Well, if you use that argument to not ban duck trail, not ban arena trap, then I can use the same argument about Gallade, right? Yeah, you can easily Gallade. You can easily kill Gallade. You can even pursue trap a fighting type. So, gonna be the point. But yeah, but the thing with arena trap is it can get a guaranteed kill on a priority target because remember, guys, Pokemon PvP is revolved around switching. And sure, I like being able to punish switches by using stuff like Pursuit, by being able to get up entry hazards. But removing the mechanic completely by just existing, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that should be in a metagame. But that's my opinion. The people in PokeMMO think differently about it. They might say, oh, you can use Shed Shell. Yeah, I'll use Shed Shell on my Tyranitar, and 90% of the times I don't face a Duck Trail, and then the Shed Shell is going to be completely useless. So Tyranitar is going to be quite useless in a lot of those cases. But yeah, that's basically my argument on this. Don't want to make this video too long. We're 26 minutes in, guys. Basically, I gave you guys my opinion. I don't think we should ban this. Instead, what I would rather see is, instead of banning this Gallade or the sharpness, why not add things to help us deal with this? Some examples could be adding some hidden abilities on faster offensive mons. Think about Alakazam, for example, giving him the Magic Guard. With the Magic Guard, he doesn't have to care too much about the hazard. You can run a Focus Sash to always check the Gallade right. You can have Psyshock on him. You can even run Life Orb. This might even force certain Gallades to run Shadow Sneak, which means they're gonna lack either a Leaf Blade, Ice Sponge, Night Slash, whatever. If they run it with Sword Dance, maybe. Which means, oh cool, now my Gliscor, for example, can always switch in on him. So offensively, add some offensive options. Defensively, maybe yet some of the Regenerator mons. I don't know if we should allow Mola into the game, but Tangrowth, for example. We already have Amoonguss. Why not add Tangrowth as well? Right, maybe with Johto, who knows? Maybe add the hidden ability on Slowbro. Because, yeah, Gallade definitely has the power to kill them. However, he has to be smart about it, because he cannot mindlessly attack, because Slowbro comes in. He doesn't die to Leaf Blade. I can show you the guys the Gog, unless he crits, of course. But if we consider a Slowbro with max HP, max defense, look, Leaf Blade is not a kill unless it crits. If it crits, is it on? If it crits, yeah, it's basically a KO. But if it doesn't crit, he's gonna lose Life Orb. Maybe you have a Rocky Helmet on your guy, then he already lost almost 30% to his HP, guys. Which can mean a lot, right? If you're trying to trap it, if that's the goal. But yeah, you can still switch out your mon, and maybe Gallade won't be able to kill your other defensive mon, so he has to get 2 other hits off again, while you still have your Slowbro Tangrowth alive, right? So maybe adding Regenerator gonna help against the other offensive threats. But yeah, Gallade is still able to muscle through them if he uses Sword Dance, for example. But if he's using Sword Dance, that means he's going to lack a coverage move again. So those kind of things help us shake up the meta a bit, but giving us options. Now Gallade cannot mindlessly attack, right? We have the Regenerator mons. Other options, maybe add some of the legendary Pokemon, because the legendary Pokemon can be bulky, but they can have the speed, just like Gliscor, to outspeed Gallade. For example, Mew, Irachi, Celebi, those kind of Pokemon. You can train them so that they are faster than Gallade, but they are bulky enough to take an attack. and it's still going to take a bit of prediction as well, which something I don't really encourage. But against these kind of mods, against the Conkeldurr, it will take some predictions as well. It's going to not necessarily predictions, but positioning. So yeah, always decide. But those kind of Pokemon can come in, usually take a hit, and then Mew can, for example, throw a Will-O-Wisp. He can roost or recover right on the switch out of Gallade as well, if he really wants to do it. But then Gallade just took 10% from Life Orb. Other things we can do, maybe add heavy duty boots, so you can actually commit a certain Pokemon to Gallade, but keeping it healthy and only use it for Gallade, which means your other Pokemon will have to take certain hits that this Pokemon might can take, but that way you can commit certain Pokemon to checks. For example, now I can commit my multi-skill on my Dragonite to take a hit from Gallade and retaliate back with extreme speed, for example, or with Dragon Claw. I can commit my Gyarados with full HP and Intimidate, and then throw off a Waterfall in return. Those kind of things. I can commit my Stelements with Intimidate and then Roost on a switch, for example. Those kind of things. And yeah, the counter argument would be, oh, but if you add heavy duty boots, Dragonite and Volcarona are going to be too OP. Well, right now, if you are team building, you should have a way to deal with these Pokemon without having Stealth Rock up, because you're not gonna get Stealth Rock up every game, guys. You're not gonna get Stealth Rock up every game. And the counter argument to that as well would be, well, now I can commit my heavy duty boots, Mandibuzz, to the Dragonite and Gyarados, because it doesn't take Stealth Rock damage, but I can always bring it in and they can never freely set up. I can commit my Crobat for the Volcarona. I can Toxic him, I can Brave Bird, to keep it healthy. So you can use heavy duty boots to counter them as well. So yeah, those kind of examples. I'm not saying they should add it, but those kind of examples could be helpful into balancing out the game. So like I said, I would rather see more things added than things removed. And I'm not saying Gallade is broken, Gallade is not broken. That's not the point. But if the argument is that it's really difficult to switch into Gallade, it's not impossible. You saw it. We have offensive checks that can actually still live hits from Gallade and retaliate back. And if it's not running Life Orb, guys, you guys saw the cog there. He was using Adamant Poseidon, but most of the times they're Jolly. Then a lot of walls will be able to come in, because now Amoonguss doesn't die to Psycho Cut, right? So basically, if that's the case, Gallade can only come in to kill these Pokemon once these Pokemon are weakened. So you have to set up that game for them to be weakened again. And yeah, that falls back to, yeah, Gallade usually doesn't get a lot of opportunities to attack. You have to set it up first. And if it runs a Choice Scarf, then defending against is gonna be easier. Sure, he's gonna hit hard with a Choice Band, but an Infernape and a Lucario, their Breloom, they are gonna hit extremely hard with a Choice Band as well. And yeah, in those cases, you will have to predict too. So it's not much different in my opinion. But yeah, that's basically my take on it. Don't feel offended, because I'm definitely not trying to offend anyone. I feel like everyone should believe what they believe. And yeah, this is basically how I feel about this topic. Let me know in the comments how you feel. And yeah, stay respectful to everyone, guys. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.